So I just finished up a documentary not that long ago called The Life of a Painting that you can check out if you click that link.
I have always wanted to be an artist. Today I am starting a painting. It's actually based off of a series that I started during COVID-19 quarantine. I started thinking about myself and my body in the space I'm in this room, and what that would look like as a painting.
I've been blown away by the response to it. It's been amazing. But now I'm kind of left without any big project to work on. I do freelance work and I have my 9 to 5, but I like to have a big project that I can work on because documentaries at kind of their core need time in order to tell a story. Things have to change for the story to have any impact. And so I try to find a story that I can really sink into for 2 to 3 years. And a big part of that is the ideation process for what that story is going to be. So I thought I'd take you along the way as I kind of work through what my ideation process is for finding these documentary ideas. So the first thing, hi Luna, say hi. So the first thing is just the types of stories that I even consider. I think everyone would love to make a doc about a famous musician or a pro athlete, but it's important to kind of recognize what you have around you, the stories that you're connected to, the people that you know in the environment that you live in, and look through there to find a story. Docs don't have to be about famous people or crazy stories to have that emotional connection that draws in the viewer. A lot of times, the most beautiful documentaries are about simple things. One of my favorite, The Biggest Little Farm, is about 2 people who started a farm.
We had our plan. And nature had hers.
At its core, it's a pretty simple idea, but the way they tell the story and bring you along with that experience adds a lot of emotional value to it. Now that brings me to the next piece of this, is that it needs to be more than just a topic. It needs to be a story. In that movie, you follow the people as they move through this process of starting a farm. In my most recent doc, The Life of a Painting, Kendall is kind of our emotional anchor, our connection point, as she moves through her artistic process and figures out what it's like to be a young artist. We can then explore the topic of what it's like for young artists in the world today. At the heart of your doc should be story, not a topic. Now, the second thing I think is really important is finding the way that works best for you to ideate. And this might look different for different people. For one person, it might be that you like to ideate with a close friend or someone you can kind of just toss ideas out with, bounce things back and forth and kind of explore them further. For other people, you might work best going to the library and looking up a topic that you're interested in. And others might find that watching the news each day and keeping up with current events of their community is how they find their stories. Regardless what it is, I would suggest that you explore these different ways to ideate and find what really works best for you. Another thing that I found really, really helpful is to look at other media. Look at books, at magazines. It doesn't all have to just come from film and TV and movies. You can explore different art forms. Go to a museum, look at a sculpture. One of my friends makes this magazine that I love to look at when I'm looking for ideas because it's filled with just different stories from other artists, and it helps me find new ways of thinking about different topics and different stories that are around me. Your idea doesn't have to be brand new. It can be your take on something. I mean, you'll hear it all the time, but there are no new ideas. Really, what gives a piece life and separates it from other pieces is putting your own spin, your own voice, your own personality into that piece, rather than discovering some really crazy, unique idea to talk about. And the last part of this is think small. It's good to have boundaries, and it's good to have constraints. That's where you'll find you're the most artistic and inventive, and it allows you to dive deep into an idea, a topic, a story, rather than tell a broad, sweeping story, but just on the surface level. Because I can get the surface level information on Wikipedia. I want to know the deeper story. I want to connect with the people who are behind this topic. I want to feel an emotional connection and an emotional change as I watch a documentary. So those are a few things that I try to keep in mind as I ideate and go through this process of finding what my next documentary story is going to be. Now, as of now, I'm not totally sure yet. I have a few ideas that I'm kind of digging deeper into to see if it's actually viable. But I think going through this process is a great way to narrow down your scope and to really hone in on something that's going to be exciting for you to tell and something that's going to allow people to connect with. Hopefully that was helpful. Again, The Life of a Painting is out now. You can see it up there if you click on that little card. And good luck telling your next story.